Today on the Casady Sounds podcast, Twitch discontinued VOD comments in November. Samson announces Q9U, ElGato KeyLight Air, new Canon DSLR, jazz saxophonist passes away, Microsoft WordPad streamer being banned for alleged copyright infringement, and Lincoln can't treat its icy roads. First off, yeah, you know how Twitch discontinued chat rooms back on October 30th, 2019? Well, guess what? Another chat feature was actually discontinued. This one a lot more quietly. VOD comments on November 12th, 2019. Of course, Twitch's system for VOD comments was also pretty rubbish, you know? It was integrated with chat, and it wasn't as easy to moderate since the VODs are not live, which is what makes them VODs. YouTube's system for VOD comments is much better. It's like other videos on the platform, except there is no live chat replay on the videos. On VODs, the live chat replay and comments are separate. As I said earlier, moderators couldn't really handle the workload considering it's not live, and also there are actually quite a few people who actually do watch the VOD. Next up, Samson Technologies announces the Q9U. Yes, you heard me correctly, Q9U. So that kind of makes you wonder, whatever happened to 3 through 8? You know, Q1U existed, Q2U existed, Q3U, nope. Skip all the way to 9. It is a hybrid, in other words, USB and XLR, broadcast cardioid dynamic microphone with a USB-C connector. Yeah! One of the two connectors preferred by most people. Honestly, it should have a full-size USB-B. It should have a full-size USB-B or USB-C. It also has, in terms of analog outputs, a zero latency headphone jack as well as an XLR output. It comes with a couple of switches, high pass filter and present boost filter. And it will be around $200, so not too terribly expensive. Definitely not entry level though. ElGato has announced the KeyLight Air, which of course is the smaller version of the KeyLight, and it stands on its own. It does not have a clamp. But it's also cheaper by a decent chunk of the asking price. It also has PC and Mac, as well as Android and iOS support. It still has digital controls, and the desktop stand can be removed and replaced with clamp. They are $130 each, which is quite a bit cheaper than the original. Also in the technology and streamer and such side of things, the Canon EOS 1D 10 Mark III, or is it X Mark III? Either way, Canon has updated the EOS 1DX models. It is the successor to the EOS 1DX Mark II, new and improved, obviously. It has a new sensor, new processor, new autofocus, and new controls as well. It, of course, is Canon's top-of-the-line camera for $6,500 approximately, which, yeah, most of you probably cannot afford. A bit of sad news for you. If you are a jazz fan, jazz saxophonist Jimmy Heath has passed away at age 93. He began playing jazz in the 1940s. A heroin that landed him in prison in the 1950s was overcome, and he wrote most of the album Playboy by Chet Baker Art Pepper. He also founded the Heath Brothers in the 1970s with his brothers Percy and Albert. He also received a Grammy in 1993, which he played at the White House for, where President Clinton borrowed his sax. The National Endowment for the Arts named him a Jazz Master in 2003. Now, on the more infuriating side of the news, Microsoft WordPad is getting ads. How many of you were asking, seriously wishing for Microsoft WordPad to get updated? I actually had never used WordPad before this, so... However, WordPad is basically a free version of Microsoft Word, unlike Notepad, which is really, really simple. The thing is, you've got to be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Yeah, Microsoft WordPad is getting updated, but the thing is, the update is getting ads put in it. Honestly, come on, Microsoft. Come on. What the ad appears to be is to try Office Online for free instead of just regular Office. In the even more infuriating side of the news, another streamer has been banned for alleged copyright infringement. Annihilus had an emote that caused a temporary ban for copyright infringement. Of course, the ban was revoked a day later. But honestly, isn't the DMCA takedown a bit much for an emote, you know? And the claimant was RiceNat. Wait a minute. Isn't that name familiar? That does kind of make me glad not to be a partner or affiliate, and therefore I don't have any of my own emotes because of that. Of course, I would also make them myself as well. Of course, the city of Lincoln, Nebraska cannot treat its own roads. It can't treat its icy roads. You know, snow, freezing rain, and flash freezing caused the iciness. Yeah, in case you don't know, freezing rain, it actually landed us in a car accident that totaled the van in 2009. This woman spun out in front of us. We tried to avoid her. We ended up skidding on the ice ourselves, and we ended up spiraling out of control into the ditch, and the person behind us actually ended up losing control and rear-ending her. Oh boy, it was not pretty. And yes, it did total the van. The horn never worked quite right after that. Neither did the compass or the thermometer. Also, the wheels got caked in mud. The doors also got glued shut by mud. Yeah, so it was declared totaled. We were still able to drive it until December 21st of 2012. Actually caused the joke. It wasn't the end of the world the mines predicted. It was the end of our van. It is also too cold for de-icers. That salt stuff actually can only go so far. If it's under 15 degrees, it will actually not be effective because it only lowers the melting point by so much. And of course, there's also the problem of having not enough staff or machines or resources or the budget to treat the roads. Kind of makes you wonder where that money's going, though.
Ask us Hades stamps.
Okay, now on Ask Us Hades stamps, EnderChicken6YT asks, what is your proudest accomplishment in Minecraft? My proudest accomplishment? That would probably be killing the Ender Dragon in my single-player world. Thank you.
Advice from Kiss Hades stamps.
Okay, now it's time for advice from Kiss Hades stamps. If you have gear acquisition syndrome or gas, try not to relent, because if you relent, you are actually weakening your resistance to the gear acquisition syndrome. Now, I highly doubt if once a month would really harm anything. Whoa! There we go, much better. Gas does lead to debt, clutter, and sometimes depression. And of course, if the gear is sold, you just want to buy another. If it is kept, the clutter is of course going nowhere. Honestly, for your audio, a single microphone and an audio interface, if it is an XLR microphone, will most definitely be enough. Of course, the same applies for everything else, except displays and lights, which is best with 2 or more. Of course, if you want good audio, you're best not going with a cheapo gaming headset. I know of one cheap gaming headset that provides decent audio, and it is actually the one I'm using right now to monitor myself. I won't say any names though. A dynamic microphone is best for close up, 3 inches or less, and if your room is treated and your furnace is far away, condensers will also work fairly well, though not as close. I mean, you should be at least 3 inches off of a condenser. And of course, shotgun microphones are the best for distance, and they are not a cure or a treatment for untreated rooms. Keep that in mind. And also, I do have an Amazon idea list for streamers just starting out. It is called the Streamer Starter Kit. There is also a much cheaper version. Sadly, neither of them make me any money. And finally, subscribe to this channel.
This is YouTuber's personal. That's YouTuber's personal, everyone.
And now, it is of course time for YouTuber's personal, because I actually had mild laryngitis recently, and you know, laryngitis plus being a YouTuber is a bad combination. Just like laryngitis plus being a singer is a bad combination, it prevents you from making videos, and also from live streaming. And of course, making good videos and streams requires talking. It is very rare that you can make a good video without talking. And remember, there is nothing wrong with taking a break. Just because of the way YouTube works, you should probably announce it first, so that they won't think you had died. Making silent film style videos is weird for the most part. There are a few people that actually make good ones, but yeah, most people don't. And finally, if you are ill, or if you are taking a break from YouTube, make sure you announce it on YouTube itself and not just social media, because if you don't, sadly the way YouTube works, people might actually think you died. I'm not kidding, people might actually think that.
Personal segment. This is it.
And now it's time for the personal segment. I have had mild laryngitis this week, or actually it's last week by now, because it's Sunday, and of course the US. Of course it has the weekends on the weekends. Hasn't prevented me from content creation though. I mean, I did take a break one of the days, but I also did actually record an episode that day, so it was for the better that I didn't. And also, I actually am editing my Cassady Stamps Death World backlog. Hopefully I can pick it back up with it soon. On Monday. Oh boy. This was a serious dumb. I tipped over my dad's computer the other day when blowing it out. Fortunately, it survived.
And by blowing it out, he means blowing the dust out, not blowing the computer out.
Either way, you're...
And of course, we have gotten a lot of snow, which of course is typical Nebraska. I always say that we don't get a lot of snow in the wintertime. Most of the precipitation happens the other time of years, but really, it is actually common at this time of year, especially considering where we are, central and in the Great Plains. And also, the other day I recently got a microphone kill switch. Yeah, as you can see, I currently have it connected to my Sennheiser E835, my main microphone. And also 5 16GB flash drives. Here we go. 5 16GB flash drives, which of course is roughly 80 gigabytes. Of of course, they don't have exactly 80 gigabytes. No. Or they don't have exactly 16 gigabytes per flash drive. That kind of thing, no. Really, it's just a marketing campaign, and, of course, they actually put less on there. I can also mute myself easily. So if I need to cough or sneeze, I can just hit the switch, which, because of the way I put it, I don't put my name on top, and I also have the screw pointing to the bottom. It will be under it, but still, it can be easily muted. And final point, what I have been testing. The Electro Voice US 690 Dynamic Lectern Microphone. Newer 5600K USB-powered LED video light. Stream elements. And very recently, as in yesterday, which is Saturday for me, this microphone kill switch. And that's what it sounds like. Also, here's something that I did not have in the notes. We actually tried fixing our kitchen light switch today. Apparently, the light switches there are just a jumble of wires. Who thought it would be acceptable to do that? I could show you a clip of me turning the light switches on and off and showing you the problem. Okay, yeah, you see this? The light switch? This one also is there. Never mind the words are replaced there. It's just the cover broken. Yep. See, I turned it off over there. However, if we try to turn it back on here, it does not turn on. And the same thing happens if we try to turn it on from over there. It does not turn on. So that's it. That's everything. The one needs to be down, the other up. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is actually all I've got time for. I really do hope you've enjoyed. If you did, then please do hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But anyways, this has been Sadie Stamps. Cheers for watching, and I will see you later. Bye. This windscreen doesn't do enough.